Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Creatacast with your host, David Welch. Today's show is a very quick show. It's not very long. I've got my kids staring at me. 1 second. Yeah, baby. Dad's talking. 1 second. So the idea behind today's show is just have fun with writing. Challenge yourself. Enter as many contests as you can, and here's why I wanted to drop the note. Realistic Poetry has a $500 prize for new poetry of the year. So go to realisticpoetry.com, find them on Twitter, and enter the poetry contest. They will definitely look and find the best poetry for the beginning of the new year, and they will reward handsomely. They have in the past, they will again. And it's real writers, people, I'm telling you, not just people in their inner circle, real writers, people from all over the world, because realistic poetry is international. What, baby?
I want gummies.
You want gummies? Okay, Dad, get you gummies. So, as we're having fun tonight and we're writing and we're challenging ourselves, we're writing prompts, we're writing fiction and poetry and nonfiction or an essay that's due by 11:59:59, and, we're running up to the wire. Have fun. Remember that writing doesn't have to be a blood sport. It doesn't have to be a war of attrition, which it truly is in some cases, but it doesn't have to be. Have fun with it. The reason we do it is for catharsis, getting our mindset on paper, having it visually in front of us. And we all know this to be true. There's a lot of people out there, on the surface they may look one way, but on the inside their inner monologue is going at even on a different wavelength. So here's what I mean. On the outside I'm a 270 pound, former NCAA wrestler, and I've got kind of an edge looking to me, and I'm not mean at all, but people have this perception. I have resting angry face.
I got a gummy.
Okay, honey, here. So I have resting angry face, and often what happens is people presume a lot about my character based on how I look, and I dress in dark clothing or usually sports clothing, and I look a certain way. I don't really try to be. I just that's just the way I want to dress. But, Bubba, stop.
Daddy.
Jenny, you need to go potty?
No.
You look like you do. He's fine. It's gonna be fine. Here, gummies. So real life happens on these podcasts, guys. Real life happens while we're having discussions and doing what we need to do. So, moving forward, like I said, have fun with writing. Challenge yourself, yes. Push yourself to the limits, yes. But always remember to have fun.
Go potty.
Okay, go potty. And if you're not having fun writing, you're writing the wrong thing. So, some of us are like, well, we kind of have this obligatory non-fun writing that we have to do for the semester. But that's okay. That happens. That pushes your academic envelope. That needs to happen. Sometimes writing in a mode we don't want to write in, with an expediency that we don't normally have, challenges us. It challenges us to think. It challenges us to, alter and course correct to that mindset of, oh, what the hell, do whatever it takes, I'm getting it done. And sometimes it's right up to the wire where you're hitting that submit button at 11:59:59 on a Friday night. And I get it. That happens. So that's the challenge. Have fun with it. If you're going to write an essay, have fun with it. Challenge yourself. Race yourself to see how fast you can get it. And then go back through and see how fast you can get draft number 2 completed. Because getting draft number 1 done, kind of a misnomer if you're at any decent, stage of writing process. You're kind of like, okay, well, I know how to get the first draft done, but the second draft and the tweaks are where it really matters. So go in with an academic eye if you're really hitting it hard, and use source material. You're never going to go wrong quoting the source material. Unless you misquote, which is possible. So it's called cherry picking your quotes. Here's a little bit tidbit for my academic writers out there. Don't do it. Make sure if you're going to Pick a quote from a journal. Make sure the journal supports what you're saying. I was caught up, I think, my senior year of college where professor caught me cherry picking my quotes and called me out on it. Don't do it. A good professor is going to catch you. Make sure the sources that you're using align with what the message you're trying to portray or the research you're trying to show. And a lot of us are like, well, I'm doing literature, and you can't really do that with Blood Meridian, or we're writing on All the Pretty Horses, or whatever book you're reading, whether it's Dracula, Frankenstein, whatever it is you're doing your academic work on. Make sure you read closely to the text, huh?
Because you said Frankenstein.
I did say Frankenstein, honey.
Why?
Well, because there's a book, honey, called Frankenstein. So. Sorry, grabbing my soup, y'all. Soup is important. But make sure that you, as a reader, are doing your due diligence and reading closely to the material, or your professors will catch you out. And sometimes pop quizzes happen. I know at Arizona State this happened a lot, where they assign reading, people are like, oh, well, I'll be able to read the cliff notes, not getting specific answers to questions that pop up in a pop quiz, aka Mr. or Dr. Bavona, who will drop a pop quiz on you with no matter what you're reading. He will do it, promise you. So keep trudging along, keep moving forward. Now, if you're writing poetry, challenge yourself. Now, if you're a form poet, you love messing with forms, challenge yourself with a free form. It's uncomfortable because it allows us to create our own style, or create your own form that's unique to you. Set a set of rules, create your own form, go at it. Now, if you're a fiction writer and you suck at dialogue, write a dialogue-driven short story. Challenge yourself. You have to push the envelope. Have fun with it. And the best way to have fun is challenges, contests, just, getting yourself out there as much as possible as a writer. Now, another thing I wanted to discuss too is, writing, like I said, doesn't have to be laborious. It doesn't have to be endless in nature. It can be super fun. So just make sure that you're spending quality time learning the mechanics, learning the ropes, reading other writers, and then giving your critique, giving your feedback. That is invaluable to a writer. If we hear nothing but praise all the time, we're going to think we're too good, and then we're going to get upset when we're not getting picked up by publishers. So don't inflate our egos. Challenge us. Say, hey, you know what? This work wasn't nearly as good as your previous work, or wasn't, written at the same quality you normally produce, and here's why. Give a reason. Give reasons you're not giving that same praise. Okay? Now, when it comes to writing, and let's say you're a rookie writer, you're coming into the game thinking, oh, I'm going to write a book this year, and I'm going to get picked up by a major publisher, and all that, well, very well may be true, especially if you have the mechanics down. But here's the challenge. Here's the rub. Honestly, even if you have the mechanics down, and your editor's a smooth editor, and you got the best story idea in the world, doesn't mean you're going to get picked up. That's just the nature of the beast. Write for you. If you have an audience you need to write for that audience. Continue to do it. Churn out manuscripts like they're crazy. Have 10 ready to go if you need to.
No, I'm not.
You want this picture?
Yeah.
Okay, you can have that picture.
No,
But I'm going to leave you guys with this. Have great fun writing. Challenge yourselves. Put yourselves in as many contests as possible. Now, there are submission opportunities all over the place. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Submit as many online. If you're an academic, submit to a conference this year. That is the challenge to you. Get yourself read at a conference. Get your name in a chapter of a book. Do what you have to do. Do whatever it takes to make sure it happens in the writing community. A lot of people are out there, and they're doing great things. They're challenging each other on Twitter, but sometimes a lot of that action is, all for the play of the people, but not really happening. So we all know what we're able to produce. We all know where we're at in our stage of writing. Keep producing, keep having fun, challenge each other, and just make the whole writing game fun. It doesn't have to be laborious. Again, challenges are out there, and I'm ready to challenge you. I want you to submit to Creatacast. Please send me an email, dwelch9627@gmail.com. I will take your poetry, your fiction, your nonfiction, 10 pages, please. Keep it at Times New Roman, 12-point font, and double space it unless you're submitting poetry, and then I want you to submit it in the format you want it read. That way I can give you critical feedback if you would like feedback from your host. If not, I can get it definitely read and get it on the air. I appreciate everyone, and we are going to have a unique guest coming up who has produced a good creative nonfiction, and I will explain how when I get a chance to bring her on the show. And I also have a colleague who is a kids writer. She writes children's books, and I can't wait to have her on the show next week. I look forward to speaking with everybody when I get a chance. Look forward to your submissions. Please, again, dwelch9627@gmail.com. I look forward to your submissions to Creatacast. And please put that in the subject heading, Creatacast submission. That way I can find you and add you to the show. Have a great night. Love you all.